Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes on what has turned out to be a rather beautiful Labor Day weekend. And certainly we're holding on for one more day. It looks like we should be okay for this afternoon for most of the area from southern New England down into Virginia. You'll notice to the west that there are some clouds, and this is a cold front that is approaching and dying out. We are seeing the heavier cloud cover across western Pennsylvania and upstate New York and moving up into northern New England. But that front is, as I said, it's dying out and it's weakening, and we're not going to wind up getting much of anything out of that other than maybe some passing clouds. There are a couple of things that we should look at. First off, you'll notice cloud cover and a little bit of a swirl there on the lower right. There is a weak low that is moving westward, and that's because of the big high that is to our north. We're in a good place for now, but we're going to have to watch all this moisture that's off the southeast coast of the United States because with the onshore flow that is setting up for much of this week, some of that moisture may try and come into the scene here. And there's a possibility that we could even see a little bit of rain move in come Wednesday night and Thursday as that area sweeps northward. In the meantime, notice the clouds just spreading out like crazy across the Dakotas back through Montana. That is a cold front that is dropping southward and is setting up for a major snowstorm, a summer winter storm that's going to be occurring in the Rockies, particularly in the central Rockies, where we're going to see huge temperature changes coming up. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. But for now, as we look at our own weather, these showers and storms that are out to the west, you see them kind of dying out on the radar. So again, no issues here. Stronger storms back through northern Ohio. That's where most of the threat will be today as that weak weather front continues to move southward and weaken. Here's our surface map. There's the front that I'm talking about back through Michigan. And then you see this polar boundary that has moved down into the Dakotas. Temperatures are going to be in the 90s again in Colorado, and they're already down in the 40s in Montana. And you see the colder air that's up in eastern Canada with this very large high that's pushing down, setting up their snowstorm potential. So rainfall amounts this week, courtesy of the Weather Prediction Center. A lot of this is going to depend on how much moisture gets in from the Atlantic. You see how robust it is along the Carolinas, but even here too, we're showing about 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a quarter of rain. There's also a cold front that's going to be coming through this weekend, and that's where some of that rainfall is from. And of course, you see the heavier rains in the upper Mississippi Valley and back through the plains, and also the precip back through the Rockies, and much of that is going to fall in the form of snow. So no problems for the rest of today. I think tomorrow should be okay. We'll have a breeze off the water, so that's going to actually help temperatures, keeping them down. On the other hand, the humidity levels are going to be coming up. And if you'll notice the rain that's offshore in and moves into the Carolinas Tuesday night, there's a little inverted trough with this surface low off the South Carolina coast, this weak surface low. And there's always the chance, by the way, that that could become a little more robust and even something tropical. It's a small chance, but nonetheless, there is a chance. And there's this little patch of rain that moves up from the south Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And then we're okay until we get this weather front that's going to approach for the weekend. Another high builds to our north for later Thursday and Friday and into Saturday. That's going to keep temperatures down. Humidity levels will still be a little on the high side, but with the lower temperatures, it won't feel too bad. And then there's our cold front that approaches for Sunday. So all in all, for this coming week, some minor interruptions, but nothing major that we really have to worry about. So let's take a look at what's happening out in the west. These are high temperatures today, into the 90s in Colorado. And then, of course, you've got these falling temperatures up to the north. Take a look at what happens by the time we get to Tuesday night, Wednesday morning in this area. It is really phenomenal to see these incredible temperature changes that are going to be occurring with the numbers that are going to drop down into the 20s and 30s. And there you see it here. By Wednesday morning, we're going to see temperatures down uh, as low as some of the higher areas are seeing numbers in the teens. I mean, this is crazy stuff here that's happening. And with respect to snowfall amounts in this zone, we are going to see snowfall amounts that are going to be up to a foot or more in the mountains, in the higher mountains just west of Denver. Denver's forecast to get 6 out of this. We have winter storm warnings that are up over so many areas out again in the Rockies. It's nothing that I ever expected to see for this time of year. It's just crazy when you look at the fact that we are not even to the solstice yet, the autumnal equinox yet, and we're looking at winter storm warnings up all over the place in Wyoming, parts of Montana, and down into Colorado. So we're going to talk more about that tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show. Just want to quickly also run through the tropics. We have Tropical Storm Paulette, which has formed out in the central Atlantic. Forecast to slowly move to the west or west-northwest. It's not forecast to strengthen because of upper air activity that's going on in the Atlantic. We'll have to see. It's very complex what's happening out in the Atlantic right now with these tropical systems. And there is another one, a Tropical Depression 18, which is approaching the Cabo Verde Islands and will probably be a tropical storm later today. And eventually that will strengthen into a hurricane moving west to west-northwest over the next 5 days. So obviously none of this has any impact on the weather. None of these tropical systems having any impact on the weather in the U.S. In the short and medium term. So we're going to also talk extensively about the tropics tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show with my colleague Joe Rayo at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So be sure to tune into that. Hopefully your Labor Day weekend has been a good one, and we'll see you tonight.